Good evening, class.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am. Good
Okay,
evening,
we will
ma'am.
have first our prayers. Who wants to lead?
Justin, ma'am.
Okay, Justin.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us into test, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. Good evening again, class.
Good evening,
Good evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, we will check first our attendance. Who's absent?
None, ma'am.
Wala,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, very
None,
good.
ma'am.
Okay. Now we will have first we have to review of what was our lesson last meeting.
Um,
Okay, Miss Ira.
our lesson last meeting is all about the different basic components of computer system.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Now, who can give me at least one components of computer system?
Ma'am,
Go ahead, Justin.
motherboard. The main circuit board of the computer. It contains all of the circuit and components that run the computer.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Justin. Anyone who can add?
Ma'am,
Okay, go ahead, Cyril.
CPU, Central Processing Unit, the main brain or heart of the computer.
Okay, very good. Now, who can give me the two types of memory? Daryl? May I call in Daryl?
Room and RAM, ma'am.
Okay, very good. What are the differences between the two, the RAM and the ROM? Mitch Ira? Justin?
Oh. Someone will trip, fall, or
No.
hurt.
The differences between the two memories, the RAM and the ROM.
Sorry, ma'am. Oh,
Jeremy, go ahead.
Okay. The differences between the ROM and the RAM. The ROM is non-volatile, meaning it holds data even when the power is on and off, while the RAM is volatile, means it holds data only when the power is on. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chirami. Now, I know that you already learned a lot from our past discussion, and now we will proceed our next lesson, which is OHS. And this is the preparations, and
first,
we need to know in order to um, perform disassemble and assemble computer system. So these are the objectives of our lesson. So define occupational health and safety, identify computer hazard and risk, assess health and safety when working with computers, appreciate health and safety measures when working. Now I have some pictures that I will show in order for you to think of what the possible situations happen by that picture. So the first picture is this wires scattered along the floor. Who wants to give an idea about this?
Ma'am,
Okay, go ahead, Mitch Ira.
someone will trip, fall, or hurt.
Okay, very good. Ay, wait lang. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
The next picture,
Oh, ma'am,
Justin. Go ahead.
error in connection to router, system unit, speakers, power supply, and etc.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Justin. And now we'll proceed the next picture.
Ma'am,
Okay, James Cyril, go ahead.
electric shock and burn.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is occupational health and safety? Who wants to read? Ken? Okay, go ahead, Ken.
Is planned system of working to prevent illness and injury where work by recognizing and identifying hazard and risk.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ken. So, the health and safety procedures is the responsibility of all persons in the computer and the technology industries. So, you must have to identify the hazards where you are working and decide how dangerous they are. Eliminate the hazard or modify the risk that it presents. So there are the three steps to manage health and safety at work. So the first is spot the hazard. The third is assess the risk. And the next is make the changes. So first, spot the hazard, or in other words is hazard identification. So we all know that hazard is anything that could hurt you or someone else. So here are some examples of workplace hazard include the first is frayed electrical cords. So by this, it could result in electrical shock. And the boxes stacked precariously, it will could fall on someone. And the other example is noisy machinery. That would could result in damage to your hearing. So during the working hours, you must remain alert to anything that be dangerous. So if you see or hear or smell anything would take note. If you think it could be a hazard, tell to someone to avoid or stay away that um, working place. So the next is assess the risk or risk assessment. So anyone can read this slide? Daryl, can you read this slide? Or anyone from the class who want to read? Okay, go ahead, Ken.
Assess the risk or risk assessment. Assessing the risk means from asking yourself to me or someone quiz number two. How badly could I or
Okay, thank you, Ken. Um, so by that question, always tell someone or your employer to or supervisors for your health and safety, that about hazard that that you cannot fix to yourself, especially if the hazard could cause serious harms to anyone. Okay, the next is make the changes or risk control. So it is your employer's responsibility to fix hazard, but sometimes you may be able to fix simple hazard to yourself, but make sure that as long as that you don't put yourself or others at rest. So for example is you can pick up things from the floor and put them away to eliminate a trip hazard. So these are the common hazard encounters by computer technicians and users. So we will define first the hazard. Who wants to read the definition of hazard? Justin?
Hazard is a situation in the workplace that has a potential damage, plant, or equipment could involve the task, chemical, or used. Hazard management is a continuous process safety.
Okay, thank you, Justin. So we will
Babalik.
identify the physical hazard. So one of the most common physical hazard involving computer technicians is the cable running across the floor. Those are the physical hazard. The leaving toes on top of a ladder and placing electronic equipment in the precarious position. So those are the physical hazard. And next we will identify for the mechanical hazard. So when working on electronic equipment, so ask yourself, is there any this equipment could hurt me? You might stick your hand in a printer and suddenly the paper feed arms moves and feeding not only paper but through the printer but a piece of your finger too. So you might have to move your hand past a chases and lose a chunk of flesh because it is a razor sharp. So when working on electronic equipment, so always be alert to any possibility of being hurt by moving parts and example is hot components or the sharp edges. So by that you should be careful with handling with that electronic equipment. So the next is the chemical hazard. So who wants to read the meaning of chemical hazard? Okay, Cherami, go ahead.
Chemical hazard. There's a wide array of chemicals used with electronic. There are display cleaning chemicals, keyboards cleaning chemicals, compressed gas, dirt and dust removers, and many cleaning solvents. Some of these chemicals can be harmful if accidentally swallowed, get on bare skin, or get in eyes.
Okay, thank you, Churami. So those are the chemical hazard that we have to identify. So the next is electric shock hazard. So inside a computer and the electronic equipment, so there is a range of voltage from 3.3 volts to 25 volts. So most which are harmless because um, the voltage is smaller than the than the lethal volts, which is 220 volts. So the next is we have to discuss the workplace should have a safety guidelines to follow. So first is protect people from injury. So of course we should have to protect our client from injury, protect equipment from damage, and protect the environment from the contamination. So the last topic which is the safety precautions when working. So the first is always ground or discharge yourself before touching any parts of the computer. So this is applied in when we are disassemble and assemble of computers. So the second is do not work alone, so that there is someone who can take care of you. So if in case of accident and emergency, be careful with the tools that may cause short circuit, and always fold the cable connectors on the handle and not hold on the cable itself, and use only rubber shoes wherein standing in the ground or in a concrete floor. Of course, when you are working at place, you have to required to wear rubber shoes to avoid accident. This number 6 is make sure that the pins are properly aligned when connecting a cable connectors. So this is one of the very important when we are very important in holding up properly the pins, and also always power off and unplug the computers before working on it, and take away any liquid such as mineral water or soft drinks near your working area or near computers. And the number 9 is contingency measures during workplace accident. The fire and the other emergencies are recognized, and of course this is are very important to recognize. Number 10 is personal protective equipment is correctly used in accordance with the organization procedures and the practice. So hazard or risk is the work in the workplace, and their corresponding indicators are identified to minimize or eliminate risk to coworkers, workplace, and the environment. And the number 12 is take necessary precautions to protect the components of the computers from the damage caused by the electrostatic discharge or ESD. And the number 13 is hold the component by edges and do not touch the ICs or the center of the memory. Mostly the memory are the best example of these safety precautions. And the number 14 is read and follow instructions on the manual carefully. Of course, before you are working or disassemble and assemble computers, you have to read and understand first the manual. And the last is do not use an excessive force if things do not quite slip into place. So it is understandable all the safety precautions when working. Excuse me, guys. And I think this is the end of our lesson. So we will have an activity. So you will answer 1 to 5, and the directions is identify what hazard is being illustrated in the situation below. So the first, the number 1, okay class, please prepare 1/4 sheet of papers and kindly answer 1 to 5. And after that, you will answer it in 5 minutes. And after that, we will check. Are you done answering?
Ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, we will
Done,
have to
ma'am.
check. So, who wants to answer the number 1? Slippery computer laboratory floor. Anyone?
Ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Mitch Ira. What is your answer?
Physical hazard. Physical hazard.
Okay, physical hazard is correct. Number 2, who wants to answer? Okay, James Irene.
Mechanical hazard, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Mechanical hazard is correct. Number 3, Justin. Again? Again? What is the answer? Number 3, laser intertoner.
Chemical, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Chemical is correct. Number 4, anyone? Number 4, obstruction electrical cables. Who wants to answer? Cam.
Electrical shock, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Electrical shock is
Electrical shock, ma'am.
oh. The number 5, what is the answer? Open CRT monitor. Jeremy, what is your answer?
Electrical shock, ma'am.
Very good. Your answer is correct. So, who who are the students got a perfect score? Okay, very good, Kim. How about the others?
4/5, ma'am.
Okay, at least you do well. Now,
5/5, ma'am.
okay, very good.
4/5, ma'am.
Now we'll proceed to our assignment. So,
5/5, ma'am.
very good, Ken. Reflect and understand. So the direction is conduct an interview with the skilled computer technician and ask the following questions. So you need to ask these 3 questions with video. You have to take a video while you are interviewing. So the first question is, what are your personal preparations for your own safety when working? The number 2 is, what are the other safety precautions that you apply when working? And what are your tips for beginners like us in adhering with the safety precautions? So those are the 3 questions that you need to ask from the computer technician. Do you get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have any question? Class, do you have any question? Kindly turn on your mic.
Natal na.
Okay.
Exacto.
Class, this is the end of our class today. Goodbye and thank you, class.
Bye,
Goodbye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And
Okay, thank you.
Bye, ma'am.